What's up guys, Joe here, and today we're going over the new DLC for the Final Fantasy VII Remake. This DLC follows Yuffie during the events of the main game. Also, no worries, there'll be no spoilers here. Now, before we talk about this DLC as a whole, there are some pretty big negatives about the way Square Enix handled this that I'm personally just not a fan of. DLC like this is always iffy, but what I didn't realize at first is that this DLC is a PS5 exclusive. But it gets more interesting. Those people who claimed the game recently when it was free on PlayStation Plus might think they only have to pay for the DLC if they have a PS5, which is already rare. No, you need to already own the game or buy the PS5 version, which getting it for free from PlayStation Plus doesn't count. I get why games want to do exclusives, but doing exclusive DLC for a game like this that has so many people clawing for the next bit of info or anything doesn't feel right. I'm all for moving along with the next generation, but I don't see much of a reason that this couldn't have been for the PS4 fans as well. Okay, rant over. Luckily, that's my biggest complaint. It plays exactly like the main game, and just like the main game, Yuffie feels like her own character in her playstyle, and I'm excited for her to be with a bigger party and be able to mix it up in the future. At times, her fight style reminded me of Noctis' fighting techniques, which I personally enjoyed. She was very fast and could be pretty hard-hitting. This DLC also adds more to the story and world as a whole. You see some characters that are in the main game and get some context or ideas of what some others were doing. Yuffie is helping Avalanche along with her partner Sono, who is a new and badass character. We loved him as a character and couldn't get enough of him. Him and Yuffie have some amazing stories here. Only complaint with him is he wasn't playable. He's so cool and I just wish we could have played as him. There are team ups and cool moves you can do together, which is nice, and I guess is better than nothing. The story does take some characters that we barely saw in the main game and give us more of them here, which is definitely nice. Ash couldn't help but to backseat the game and point out random bystanders' conversations, adding to the story or discussing specific characters. This DLC adds more characters in the process as well, who were pretty impressive. The second chapter slowly began to feel like an arena, and there was a lot of fighting, and at moments seemed a bit much, but luckily the combat is so fun that it doesn't ruin the experience at all. Certain parts of the game were kind of predictable, but done in such a cool way that it didn't really matter. Trying to be as vague as possible here so I don't give away any spoilers for all you guys. Something we also thoroughly enjoyed was the music. It was pretty catchy, especially the turtle song and the expressive jazz-like music. It'll have you kind of bouncing around with it. We personally liked Sad Touch, even though we did miss searching for the radio stations this time around. But don't worry, you don't have to search for cats at all in this DLC. But you do get something else to look for if you choose to. I know Square Enix is hard at work on numerous games, but it would just be nice to know a game plan of sorts on how they plan on releasing the further chapters and installments. Overall, this DLC was a blast, and without going into spoilers, made us want even more. They answered some questions and created even more. Anyways, that's all my thoughts. Did you guys play the DLC? How do you guys think they're going to handle the future chapters going forward? Let's talk down below, and as always, stay nerdy and keep binging.